coming to watch me give this talk. I'm going to wait just a moment or two before starting to allow a few more people to join in. You can type comments and I should see them, but I won't answer questions until the very end. I'm just going to wait a moment or two more. I see there's a few people joining. Okay, well, I'll start with an introduction. I'm Lucya Starza. I write a Bad Witches blog, and I've written a few Pagan Portals titles for Moon Books. Oh, hello, Luna. Nice to see you. I won't say hello to everyone who joins at the moment because I'll give the talk and then I can answer questions later. Anyway, my Pagan Portals titles, the shameless plug: Pagan Portals Candle Magic, Pagan Portals Poppets and Magical Dolls, Guided Visualizations. This is the one that's coming out next. It's not out yet, but you can pre-order it. Pagan Portals Scrying. And the community book that I edited, Everyday Magic. Now, Magic for the Month is a series of talks that I started in January. I've been doing one every month. I've been doing them on Facebook Live, and then I've been putting the recordings, the videos up on YouTube. And if you want to find my YouTube channel and watch any of the earlier ones, or watch this one when it goes live, you can find me by searching for Lucya Starza. Now, I'm also writing a series of posts for the Moon Books blog. I've just started doing that on the Wheel of the Year, and that covers a lot more seasonal magic and folk traditions and that kind of thing. And eventually that's going to be edited into another Pagan Portals book, Pagan Portals Wheel of the Year. Now, this talk is on magic for the month of July. The talk should take about 30 minutes. If you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notes. I put my notes on my Kindle to read them because then I don't forget anything, hopefully. Now, if you follow the Wheel of the Year, then July can seem one of those fallow months. It doesn't contain any of the 8 main festivals that many modern pagans celebrate. It falls between summer solstice and Lammas. But as I've said in my earlier talks, the wheel is obviously round, it's not octagonal, and there's plenty going on in July. In fact, there are a huge number of seasonal folk customs and traditions and festivals. Now, I'm going to start by talking about the dog days of summer. The dog days of summer start at the beginning of July and they last until early August. According to the Old Farmer's Almanac in this year, 2021, they start on the 3rd of July, although the date when they start varies depending on what part of the world you're in. Obviously, it's completely different in the Southern Hemisphere, but it also varies from country to country. They relate to when Sirius, which is the dog star, rises in the sky at dawn. Now, the 1552 edition of the Book of Common Prayer says that the dog days begin on July the 6th in England and end on August the 17th. In ancient Rome, the dog days ran from July the 24th until August the 24th, and some countries still use that reckoning. The dog days are supposed to mark the hottest days of the year, and the name comes from the ancient belief that Sirius, which is the brightest star in the constellation Canis Major, brought hot weather when the star appeared close to the sun. For ancient Egyptians, Sirius first appeared just before the annual Nile flood, and that was really vital for agriculture. Farmers would watch for the star as an indicator that the flood was due. Now, although the appearance of Sirius doesn't actually affect the weather, it has often happened that the most sultry days of summer um, happen then, and the term is still used. People say the dog days of summer, meaning the hottest days of summer. Now, although ancient Egyptians looked forward to the dog days, many other cultures actually considered them to be a time of trouble and ill omen. Brady's Clavis Calendaria, or a compendious analysis of the calendar, published in 1813, describes the dog days as an evil time, when the seas boiled, wine turned sour, Quinto raged in anger, dogs grew mad, and all creatures became languid, causing to man burning fevers, hysterics, and frenzies. Now, a traditional folk saying implies that the dog days can either be a good or a bad sign, depending on the weather. And there's a little rhyme. Dog days, bright and clear, indicate a happy year. But when accompanied by rain, for better times our hopes are vain. I'm going to talk about some English July folk customs now. Now, there are loads of summer fairs in England historically in July, and some still take place in normal times. Steve Roud in the English Year mentions so many, I'm only going to pick out a few. Farlop Fair took place in early July around an oak tree in Epping Forest near London. Stag Shorebank Fair was on the 4th of July at Corbridge in Northumberland. The 5th of July was Old Midsummer Day, and that was changed because of the calendar change. But there are still many festivals to mark that. Often they had huge bonfires. Duck racing took place in Oxfordshire on July the 6th, and the same day Kilburn Feast in North Yorkshire was a massive horse fair. On the first Saturday in July, it was traditional to change the rushes that were at one time a common floor covering. Rush-bearing ceremonies involved carrying rushes and flowers around villages in a parade. It was often a bit like a carnival, and the rushes would often be woven into shapes and symbols. 15th of July is St Swithin's Day, and there's a lot of lore about that, but I'm going to go into that in more detail later. 19th of July is Armada Day, when England celebrated the anniversary of defeating the Spanish Armada in 1588. 20th of July is the Feast of St Margaret of Antioch, and although she's a Christian saint, I really like her because the legend is that she is a female saint who defeated a dragon. So she's a female. She didn't actually slay the dragon, to be honest, but she's a woman who defeated a dragon. And as well as that, she was called upon by people who were pregnant to help with the pains of childbirth. 25th of July is the date of the Ebeno Horn Fair in West Sussex. Now, horn fairs occur in various parts of England, and their origins aren't entirely known. Some of them might even date back to ancient pagan times, but it isn't clear in historical records. In the Ebeno Horn Fair, a sheep is roasted traditionally and a game of cricket is played. The winning team is given the sheep's horns, and everyone enjoys a roast lamb feast. Now I'm going to move on to more specifically pagan things, and I'm going to read some of the daily entries from Everyday Magic. And that's the community book that I edited with something to do or think about for every day of the year. The entries I'm going to read include sun and moon lore, rune symbolism, a herb honey recipe, magic and pagan festivals, including several from ancient Egypt. Right, now July. July's moon is called the buck moon, according to some pagan traditions, because it is a time when the buck deer's antlers first start to show in preparation for the rut in autumn. Another traditional name is hay moon because the full moon shines at the start of the harvest. Consider what in your own life is ready to be harvested and what you might need to prepare for later in the year. Do rituals of celebration. Get out and enjoy the glory of summer. Leo the lion shines down in the heat of the sun, which in astrology it enters from around July the 22nd. It is a fire sign representing dignity, strength, confidence and power. Perform magic to bring these aspects into your life. The sun moving into Leo can also bring new possibilities in situations that seemed hopeless. The entry for the 1st of July, celebrate the sun. We are past midsummer and all should be sunny and warm. Celebrate the joy of being alive. Go outside, revel in the sun and warmth. Enjoy the light and feel the sun on your closed eyelids. If the weather is not conducive to this, in the UK it often rains in the summer, do this in meditation instead. Your energy is close to its highest and all is well with the world, even if it's not okay in your own life. Take time to forget your worries. Remember, obsession is the enemy of enlightenment. And that entry is by Brendan Howlin. July the 2nd, Rhytho Rune Law. July the 2nd is the midpoint of the year, 182 days before and after the new year. This makes it an excellent time to consider where you are and whether you need to make any changes in your life. If you find you aren't making the progress you need, Rhytho is the rune of movement and can be invoked to help you on your way. Research what it looks like, then wear it in an amulet or paint it in oil on your skin. It will help keep things moving. And that entry is by Carol Tierney. Now, July the 7th is herbal infused honey, a recipe. You need fresh herbs. Lavender, rose or thyme are good. A jar with a lid and honey. Lightly pack the jar with herbs. Pour honey over the top, stopping to stir. When all the plant material is covered, give it another stir and leave it for 2 to 4 weeks, stirring every couple of days. You can leave softer plant parts like rose petals in the honey, but strain tougher parts out through a sieve. Gently warm the jar with the infused honey in before you strain it to help get the most honey out of the plant material. And that entry is by Jackie Apostolides. The 11th of July is the feast day of the Egyptian god Min. This ancient deity of fecundity dates back to prehistoric times. His emblem was the lettuce, which was believed to be an aphrodisiac. The Greeks identified him with Priapus. Serve a green salad with plenty of lettuce and help the god celebrate his feast day. That's by Melusine Draco. The 13th of July is John Dee's birthday. Dr. John Dee was an Elizabethan scholar, mystic and owner of a large library. He didn't have the visions or voices normally associated with magical experience, but was a rational man. He linked science and magic, but suffered persecution because of his interest in magic. It is said that he succeeded in making gold from base materials, i.e. the mystical marriage that we should all strive for. Remember that one doesn't need flamboyant experience to be spiritually enlightened. Living a good life is enough. And that's by Brendan Howlin. The 15th of July is St Swithin's Day. British folklore says that if it rains on St Swithin's Day, it will rain for 40 days more. And here's a rhyme. If St Swithin's Day, if thou dost rain, for 40 days it will remain. St Swithin's Day, if thou be fair, for 40 days 'twill rain nae mair. And a variant goes, if on St Swithin's Day it really pours, you're better off to stay indoors. Here's a dry weather spell that you could try if it rains. Draw or colour in a picture of the sun shining over a bright landscape, and as you do so, visualise it happening for real. And that was by me. July the 17th, some holiday magic. Many of us take holidays by the sea or near some water. Here's a little bit of water magic to cast while you're away. Pick up one large pebble and one small pebble. Hold the larger stone by placing into it all negativity in your life currently. Cast it into the water. Hold the small stone and whisper into it things you want to change. Charge it in the water and carry it with you. And that's by Jenny Cartledge. 21st is Roman Lucya, a day sacred to Concordia, the Roman goddess of concord or peace. Offer up a libation for peaceful solutions to the world's discord. Twenty-ninth, ancient Egyptian New Year feast day of Wedget of Buto. The fire-spitting cobra goddess image was incorporated in the royal crown. This was the ultimate protective amulet. Reinforce the protections around your home and family, both physical and magical. Make a magical amulet from air-drying clay to hang in your front window, marked with a cobra symbol and the words, "This house is protected." And that is by Melusine Draco. I'm now going to offer a guided visualisation. I usually offer a guided visualisation with every one of my Magic for the Month talks. And I'm going to read from my book, one from my book, Pagan People's Guided Visualisations. Now, this one is called Things Revealed by the Tide. And in it you imagine being on a beach and finding things that might be symbolic of self-discovery. I thought it was quite good for this time of year when many of us do go on holiday. Guided visualisations are journeys we make in our minds using a script to help us experience a story that we're part of. And to do this, make sure you're in a safe and comfortable place where you won't be disturbed. If you're not in a suitable place, then you could always just listen to it as you would a story, but not try to really visualise it. Ideally, guided visualisations are best done with your eyes closed. So first of all, I'll ask you to take a few deep breaths, relax and close your eyes. And at points in the narrative, I will pause to let you visualise what happens in your own way. And that might be as images in your mind's eye, or it might just be as words. Whatever's fine, whatever works for you is fine. So, if you're ready, I'm going to begin. Things revealed by the tide. Sit comfortably in a safe place before you start this guided visualization. Close your eyes, take several slow, deep breaths and relax. Visualize the following. Imagine that you are at the coast in a safe place, watching the sea from the top of a beach. The tide is high. Picture the scene in your mind and watch it for a while. As you do so, think of a question or something you've long wanted to find the answer to. As the question forms itself in your mind, you notice that the tide is starting to go out. You continue to watch it as it recedes. More and more of the beach or shoreline is revealed. Look at it. What is it like? Is it rocky, sandy, pebbly. You walk down the revealed land. It is still wet, but it is firm and safe underfoot. You follow the receding tide line, watching more and more be revealed. You study it as you walk. Spend some time looking at the shore at your feet as you go. The tide goes out further and further, further than you have seen it go before. You see something special has been uncovered. Go up to it. It means something to you, something that can help you answer your question or guide you towards the answer. Spend some time studying and learning from what has been revealed. If there is something for you to take, then take it. It is a treasure from the depths of the sea. Then return up the beach. Retrace your steps. When you have got back to the safe place at the top of the shoreline, you know it is time to return to everyday reality. Take a few deep breaths again, wiggle your fingers and toes, and return to your normal consciousness and open your eyes. That's the end of that visualisation, and I hope that was good for those who took part. After you've done any magical work or a guided visualisation, you should ground to make sure you're fully back to reality, and the best way to do that is to have something to eat and drink. But if that's not possible, then you can stamp your feet on the ground a few times or tap a hard surface. Now that's the end of my talk on magic for the month of July, and I'm happy to answer questions. I'm just looking here. Yeah, we've got some questions. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, great, yes. Luna Farrow likes the idea of making an amulet. I think you said on the 2nd of July. Right, yeah, there were a couple of amulets actually mentioned. There was one on the 2nd of July, which was making a rune amulet of the rune Rhytho, of researching that, do a Google search, find out what it looks like, and you could draw that on an amulet. And then there was another one at the end of the month, which was for the protective cobra goddess, to hang in your window to protect your home. Yeah, I absolutely agree. A lot of people have been, Luna's saying that the last couple of years have been a little stagnant, and lockdown didn't help on plans that Luna's walking towards. No, I absolutely agree. So many people I've been talking to have been saying that keeping up a regular spiritual practice has been very difficult. And I mean, I must admit, I've done very few real full-on seasonal rituals this past year. I've done a few, but mostly I've been doing visualizations, I've been doing scrying and divination, I've been lighting candles, but it's been very, very low-key. And obviously I've been doing my flower mandalas, going into my garden and picking seasonal flowers and creating mandalas with them. But I think do whatever feels right for you, and I think that's a really important thing, that if your intuition is telling you to celebrate in a certain way, or even to the for one particular, for a particular period of time, you just don't have the energy to do so, it is okay. It's absolutely fine. Yes, very hard to get back. Right, I'm just going to wait a few more minutes, see if there's any more questions. In the meantime, I will do the usual thing of giving another plug for my book. So there's Everyday Magic, Guided Visualizations, Scrying. That's then you can pre-order that. It's not quite out yet. Poppets and Magical Dolls and Candle Magic. And I'll give you the web address for the Moon Books blog, because I have been starting to blog there. And if you go to www.johnhuntpublishing.com/blogs/moon-books, or just search on Moon Books blogs, Moon Books blog, you should find the Moon Books blog. And I've started to blog there as well as on a Bad Witches blog. Right, well, I think I'm going to it was actually quite a short talk today, wasn't it? It was a little bit over 25 minutes, so quite a short one this month. But thank you very much for coming along. I'm going to, the video will be here to watch, and I will put it on my YouTube channel. But thank you very, very much for coming along, and see you next month, hopefully. Goodbye.